And all right, we're on, man. So what's going on, Ned? How you doing?
Not much. Just relaxing. It's 1:30 in the morning here
And
in
still
Bulgaria.
awake.
So
Still awake, man. That's
I kind of
crazy.
go to I kind of go to bed late. Well, technically early, so around four
The
something.
last the last times I stayed up till 1 o'clock was before my son was born. That was the only time. After that, there's no way there's no way I wasn't going to sleep fucking early because this is the thing. When I started in the sports book, because I've been in sports book my whole life since I've started here. I started in this one place that paid me like 350. Then I went to another place that paid $5 until where I am now, which has like probably the best pay that I've had in Costa Rica, right? So from there, I've always been afternoons. I was always like 3 to 10 or 3 to close because I was in lines. So as soon as I came here, I was always trying to be there for Gabriel, my son, because he's special. He has Down syndrome. So I'm always trying to go to his appointments. Even though Mitzi takes care of all that stuff, I at least try to go. And then I try not to be grumpy, but that's also hard too because I'm sitting there in the hospital at like 6 a.m. or at like driving through traffic and it just sucks.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. I mean, I have a son too. The thing is, I'm divorced and I don't live with my son, so I haven't lived with him for quite a while. So I kind of forgot. I mean, I still remember what it is being a father, but I kind of forgot it at the same time.
Yeah, no, I hear you. So how's Bulgaria dealing with coronavirus?
Well, we have actually very strict.
WhatsApp audio.
Sorry about that. What's up?
Oh, no problem. We have very strict measures actually. You're not supposed to go out unless you're wearing a mask, and you're only supposed to go out if you're walking your dog or if you're going grocery shopping.
Uh huh.
You're not supposed to take a walk in the park because, and if you do, if they catch you, they can give you a very hefty fine for doing that. But many people are breaking the rules left and right, and it's not really helping out. Like for instance, I live in the
Mm-hmm.
capital, Sofia, and they closed because we are the biggest city in Bulgaria with the most cases. They closed Sofia today. You're not supposed to travel
Wow.
unless you're not supposed to leave the city unless you're actually working or have an emergency. The problem is that 5,000 cars already left from yesterday and today, and they all and it's what they're guessing is that most of them actually lied. I think they're probably going. They say they were going on work, but most of them just going out to their village or they're going in the province. And because it's Easter is coming up this Sunday, and I think that they going home visiting family and friends, and they're not really supposed to be doing that right now. But
I haven't moved.
the
But go
thing
on, go
about
on.
the thing about Bulgaria is we're number one in the European Union. We're doing as far as we have the least amount of people per 100,000 who are infected. Number one in the European Union with the least infected
Oh wow.
per 100,000.
Yeah, no, I can't even imagine how it is in Europe right now. Because here in Costa Rica, okay, I remember when it was at like 350, and then in like a week it jumped up to like 500. But like here, I have not seen it that bad. I've seen some extreme cases, and not cases of coronavirus, but cases of like just people acting insane, man. I went to PriceSmart the other day. Okay, she had the mask. Then she had like a plastic bag over the hair. Then she had her clothes with a plastic bag over her clothes, plastic bag over her pants, and then like big long boots. I'm like, really? Like, really?
But
I
let me ask you this:
understand precaution.
are the
Huh?
measures as strict as Bulgaria or not as strict?
They're trying. They're making like there's like car restrictions. Like only the license plate that ends in like one can go out from 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. unless it's like an emergency of groceries. Like people that get out of work late have to have like a letter because there's traffic stops and cop stops like entering like major provinces and everything like that. So from there, they've been trying, but people still want to go out. I live where I live, the little town like around the corner, because I'm in a residential, around the corner, like they're out like everything's normal, man. They're walking with their babies. All the chicken shacks are open. All the barber shops are open. Like I'm like, man, you guys are crazy.
It's the same thing here too. Like you're also because the most risky group is the elderly people. People who are
Mm-hmm.
60 and over can shop only between 8:30 in the morning to 10:30 in the morning. Because the belief is that elderly people get up earlier than everyone, so they can only shop between 8:30 to 10:30. Also, when you shop, you're supposed to keep at least 2 meters distance from everyone else. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
you they they call you when it's your turn to get into the store. So usually you might have to wait outside. Like today, I had to wait about 15-20 minutes before I can get into the store.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, if you walk in the park right now, it was actually a joke that because we were giving out very hefty fines, the joke was that it costs more to take your girl to the Maldives than to take her to the park because of the fines that they were giving out.
No,
It literally cost more to take somebody to the park to go to the park than to go to the Maldives or to go to Bali, for instance.
oh man, that's crazy. But
And
hey,
that's how bad the fines are.
now, just to let everyone know, we met by working with each other. Now, that one thing I did notice is that you speak English very well. Where did you learn? Or did you go to school or did you travel?
Well, originally I was learning English all the way from fifth grade
Uh huh.
uh, to 10th grade, but I'm an American citizen. When I was 10th grade, we moved to the U.S. and
Hmm.
I used to live in Massachusetts at first for some time. Then I moved to Texas, Houston, Texas. That's where I've been living for all the 13 years that I've been in the U.S. I've been living in Houston, Texas.
Hook'em
I,
horns.
hmm?
Hook'em horns. Texas
I'm not a
University.
No, I actually went. Well, the interesting thing is, I actually went to school in Philadelphia.
Uh huh.
I went to graduate school in Houston, in University of Houston Clear Lake. Um, and I've been living in. So I moved to the U.S. back in December of 2000, and I left March of 2014. I'm a U.S. citizen, as well as was Bulgarian.
Hmm.
My son is still living with my ex-wife. So I still come to Houston to visit him, but I haven't been to Houston since 2017.
Shit, man, it's been a while, and now with everything shut down, you can't travel. There's no traveling.
No, not at this point. No.
All right, hey, you said
Hopefully,
something else that
hopefully,
I,
hopefully
huh?
next year. Hopefully, I'll be able to
Hopefully,
come next year when he turns 10.
hopefully, I hope so, man. I hope everything clears up. Supposedly, things they want to open up borders and everything like that in like May and June. So we'll see what's up. I have no idea. But there's one thing you did tell me that I thought was very interesting because I have questions about it. So you were an extra in Spartacus.
Yeah, well, that was back in 2003.
Yeah, but you're
Uh,
still an extra. That means you know more about the movies than I do because all I do is watch them. You've been at least or the show. You've been in production and stuff. So
well,
what? Uh
that
huh.
was back in 2003 when I came. See, I used to come during the summer. I used to come to Bulgaria. And back in the summer of 2003, I came back to Bulgaria again, and they were shooting the movie Spartacus, not the TV show.
Oh, okay, it's the movie. All right.
The movie, it's an older movie. Well, older considered to, I guess, was there, but yeah, they were shooting the movie in Bulgaria, and
Mm-hmm.
uh, and I was supposed to have like a job for the summer, I guess. It was very short time. It was only for a few days because I couldn't take it after the third day. I didn't want to do it anymore. But I was basically a Roman soldier, but it was very tiresome because you have to get up at like 4 in the morning, 3 or 4. You get up 4 in the morning, then you have to go wait for the bus because it drives you. The drive was like about an hour, 40 minutes to an hour, something like that. Then you spend
Mm-hmm.
1 to 2 hours just makeup. Well, about 1 to 2 hours makeup. Then you have to change, and then the clothes are not very comfortable. Um, and then you have
Well, it
to
is Roman gear, remember?
and you basically well ba- basically you have to march back and forth, and you have to get up back up on the hill because it was like in a mount. They shot it in a mountain area. It was and
Hmm.
it basically was very strenuous as far as physical. It was plenty of physical exercise. Let's put it this way.
I would love that, man. I'm no. You're telling me all this. I'm like, I don't see the problem yet. Like, I don't see the
Because
problem. I would have done it.
you basically worked because you basically work for 12 hours a day, and you don't get paid that much, and it's very tiresome. It's not exactly a dream job. Let's put it this way.
I agree. It wouldn't be like a dream job, but I would like I was said previously. Like, I would love to do that, man. Like, I'd love to do the hair, makeup, all the things.
But
I
now,
don't. I have a lot of patience. That's the thing. So I can sit through that and wait my turn. You know what I mean? I got no problem. The marching will kind of suck, but I would love to just do it, man. You never know.
it sounds interesting, yes, but I was 18 back then, so. Uh, but trust me, after the third day, I was like, no, I'm not. I don't want to do that anymore.
Now, we have been talking back and forth, you know what I mean, through WhatsApp and everything like that. And I do notice that you watch more shows than movies. So, do you feel that like shows or they're starting to catch up to what it was to be a production of a movie now? Like they're spending the same amount of money. Maybe you can relate with the characters a lot more, or you can just build more story.
Well, I think it's a little bit more of all. Um, I think TV series have more depth nowadays. Movies are not what they used to be. Back in the days, movies used to be pretty good, but recently movies becoming more and more cliche, um, more and more redundant in a way. While TV series they have
A
more
bunch,
time.
a bunch of
I'm sorry. Are you there? Are you
reboots
there?
as well.
I'm sorry. What were you saying?
No, no, no. I was just saying on top of what you were saying, like they're getting redundant and everything, but they're just coming out with reboots. They're remaking old movies.
Yeah, like Jurassic Park, for instance, right?
Hey, don't you start with my Jurassic Park now. I
And
already
like
talked
they may
about
remake
this.
Jurassic Park, they may remake Jumanji, and I know they were not. Usually, when they remake something, they're not really doing a good job, right?
I enjoy those movies. Like, okay, I'm not saying that they're great movies and I don't recommend them to everybody, but they're entertaining movies. Like, I can watch the Rock movies. Like, some of them are okay. Some of them I just won't even like give time to. Like, Skyscraper, yeah, I'm not watching that one. San Andreas, that was a no go as well. But like Jumanji, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed
Uh, I don't know. I usually don't like watching reboots, and
it.
honestly, recently I've been for the past 5 years I've primarily watched TV series because TV series can like develop the story more, and especially if it's something that I like, I would like to. I usually been watched. There are many TV series that I like way more than I like movies recently. There are some good movies that came out. I can tell you about those movies that I watched recently if you like.
All right, yeah, for sure.
There are three great movies, at least three great movies that I've watched very, very recently, which I think that are worth checking out. The first one is The Platform, and it's on Netflix. And I guess you can consider it it's like a scare movie, but it's not like a regular scare movie. It has very strong message.
Uh
Uh,
huh.
bas- Basically, it's a prison in the near future, but it's prison which is both mixed, both men and women, and they're all on two people. There are two people per cell, and they're all on vertical level cages. So it goes from the highest level. Highest level would be level 0, then it goes to 1, 2, and so forth, with two people
Mhm.
per level.
Mhm.
And you don't know in the beginning of the movie. You don't know how many levels there are. And there's a giant big rectangular hole in the middle of the. So this way you can look up and you can see your neighbors above. You can look down. You can see the people below. And once a day, there's this platform that comes up with lots of food to feed everybody. But And it's actually when it starts at level zero, they have all the best food there is. It's prepared by great prepared by some of the best chefs, and there's plenty of food. The thing is, there's the food for all the levels down, and it's once a day. And with each consecutive level, there's less and less food that goes for the levels further down, and the food becomes from perfectly looking to more and more gross with every single level until after level, I would say until after level late 80 or after level 90, there's no more food for any one period. So if you're lower level, you don't get to eat at all for a month. And every
Oh
month they
shit.
switch, and every month they switch the prisoners. So you stay on one level for 1 month, so you can be on an intermediate level 1 month. Next month you can be on a very good level. Let's say if you're if you're in the first top 10 levels, that means you're pretty good level. But then the next month you can be level 100 and something, and you don't eat. So it's actually pretty interesting when you start watching it. And that's how much I can
All
tell you
right.
without giving any major spoilers, basically.
Oh no, I'm gonna watch that. Okay, okay, that's a good one. That actually sounds good. All right, next one.
The next one which I watched, which I think is pretty good, and it actually won it won an Oscar, and it's a Korean. It's the first time that a movie which is not an Anglo-Saxon movie, and English is not the main language which actually wins an Oscar. It's a Korean movie, and it's called Parasite.
Mm.
It basically is about two families. One of them is extremely rich, and the other one is extremely poor, and the poor family, they're all con artists, which they actually need to be con artists in order to survive. And they have an opportunity to get a job working for the rich family, and one by one they all start working, but they pretend they don't know each other on purpose. They don't want the rich family to know that they're related, so they can all get jobs there. And the way they achieve that is not it's through many means which are quite very not just unethical, but very unethical. Let's just say. Well, they do it.
Mhm.
Once you start getting to it, it gets very their things start catching up to them, and there are some things that you don't expect which happen, and it gets very interesting pretty quick.
I'm gonna be honest with you. See, when I saw that movie, first of all, I lost a lot of money on that movie because it kept winning, and I thought 1917 was gonna win a lot more Oscars, so that wasn't cool. And then, so after that,
It deserved the Oscar though, because it makes a great comparison between it makes a great comparison between rich and poor, and not just and it has many other things too. When you start watching it, it's actually very entertaining, I think.
that's what I mean. Though I've just there's a lot of movies that are really good, but it just doesn't pique my interest. I'll
It,
give it a chance because you said so. I like to give movies chances, and then I get surprised, especially when I have no expectations.
I actually was expecting it to be bad, because usually movies that win Oscars are not movies that I like. But the more I start watching it, the more I was entertained by it.
See, that's the thing. I need to go in with zero expectations. Then I can actually enjoy it a little better. So I'll give it a chance, man. Just because
And
you said so, I'll give it a chance.
the third movie which I really liked, which I know that you have heard of and you probably watched, is Joker.
Yeah, of course. Now, there's a
Yeah,
few things I don't like about that movie, as much as, and it's mostly storyline, not the acting. The acting's great. Like he murders that role. I'll give
most
it to him.
people most people who don't like Joker is because they think it's too depressing. But for me, I don't think it's depressing. I think to me it's perfectly fine. But for many people, it can be a bit depressing. I agree with that.
See, this is the thing, though. Okay, a lot of people went into that movie, and then I've read some of the like what the critics are saying. Oh, it's about like ah, fuck, I'm like confused at the same time. Like it's all about like the depression, this and that, and like keeping people down and not help. Like I get society problems, all that stuff. That's what I wanted to say. I get that, but I went into that movie looking at a Joker movie. I'm not looking at what they're trying to say with it, like about society. I'm not looking at it on how it portrays people. No, I'm going in there because Joker for me is probably a top three villain of all time. And I want to see what they have to say because there's only one comic that ever showed the history of Joker. And I've read the comic. I watched it when they made a cartoon. Oh, my big guy's here. He wants some ice cream. And I watched the cartoon when it came out, and even then they added a little bit of new info, but they got like DC permission. You know what I mean? To add a little extra. And I enjoyed what they did with it. I really did. I didn't like the fact that he knows Bruce Wayne or he met him when he was a kid because you're telling me he's what, maybe like 13 in there. No, maybe even less because his parents die in that
He's
movie.
7 or 8 years old, Bruce Wayne.
7 or 8 years old. Joker's what, 35, 40, if you want to make him a little younger of what his real age is. So what, when he's 18, he's fighting like okay, I got to do the math properly or I sound like an idiot now. All right, so I'm saying he's like 35, 40, he's 7, 45, 46-year-old Joker? That's what you're telling me. 46. So he's 50, he's 46. I suck at
Basically,
math,
what you're
man.
trying to
But
say
you're
is
saying,
that when
you got me. I suck at math. But yes, like there's no way he's that old. There's no way he can be that old, man. I didn't like that. But that aside, it doesn't ruin the movie for me. I really appreciate what they did at the end when they really let out the Joker when he gets off the car after the accident and he puts the blood and all. I was like, okay, there it is. That's the part. That's the money shot, and that's what I was waiting for with that movie the whole time.
But see, the things I from the previous podcast, I can tell that you are a big superhero fan, right? I'm the opposite. I'm not much of a big superhero man, and I actually went with low expectations because I'm not a big superhero fan, and actually I was surprised because it wasn't the typical superhero movie, if that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't. It wasn't. They try to do a real spin off it. It's almost like the Christopher Nolan Batmans. You know what I mean? Like he's not like punching people through walls and lifting up like 7 foot, 7 foot 350 men and just throwing them over buildings. Like they made it as real as they can. So he's. It's not like Batman Superman where you see him crawl on the wall and he just does the thing and he disappears, which I still love. You know what I mean? I love that portrayal of Batman where he's that sneaky, he's that uh, elusive from everybody.
Yeah, and I think that's the reason why I think I like the Joker so much. But but again, I'm not big of a superhero movie fan. That's
Okay, with you saying that, now this is the one thing I have to ask you. Okay, I friended you in Facebook. I looked at it. I first of all, if I was there, I would slap you. How do you think Sansa Stark is a good character? She should have died in like the last. She should have died at the beginning of the show, like everyone else did. Like no, no. Your top 10 your what was it? TV characters? No, unless that's just something you posted. How do you like Sansa? How? She is the worst. She should have died ages ago.
okay. So you're talking about my most favorite TV show of all time is Game of Thrones, right?
Yes. Yes. Game of
Uh,
Thrones, yes. But I saw Sansa. I saw characters because I saw the guy from Breaking Bad.
I love Sansa Stark. She's my most favorite character. She's
How? She's
because
useless.
no, she's not. And I'll tell you why I can tell you why she's not. So basically, she has the biggest character growth out of all the characters. She starts okay with first she starts is very naive. That's true, but throughout the season, she grows and she becomes way smarter and smarter with every season. She
You mean with
manages
every
to
mistake?
she grows she learns from every mistakes that she makes. She managed to survive Cersei and Joffrey. She managed to survive Ramsay. she managed to get back Winterfell and beat the Boltons, and she finished up as Queen of the North. I think that's right there should show up how
It
great of the character she is.
it was all luck. She is. I'm gonna have to quote a reporter that I know. She is the loaf. She is the luckiest of all time. All right, because if it wasn't for the Hound, she shouldn't be there. First of all, she just fainted. She's just like, "Oh my God, my dad! I should go back to Joffrey." Are
But
you serious? Are you serious? No, 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 no,
but
Ned.
I
You're
can
you're
say this.
even named Ned. You are the name of the best character in the show, Ned Stark. Like, come on, she is useless.
I can say the same exact thing about Daenerys, for instance. To me, Daenerys is just as useless, and yet she has so many fans as well.
Without the dragons, she's useless.
Well, yeah, obviously. She
Because she has dragons, she plays a big part.
she has dragons, so that's what I'm saying. After me, Sansa is the most awesome characters. And from the men I like the most is probably Hodor and Theon.
I never watched that show.
Which one? Game of Thrones?
No, no, I love Game of Thrones. I'm talking Breaking Bad.
Oh, Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
You never
I never
watched
watched
it?
it. Nope.
Um,
No, let me tell you this. I watched the last episode, and that pretty much told me everything that happened.
Breaking Bad is great. I'll tell you, the reason why Breaking Bad is great is because it has very intriguing plot, and basically when you watch Breaking Bad as well as Better Call Saul. Better Call Saul is like a spin-off of Breaking Bad.
Yeah, is it any
You,
good?
yeah, it is. It is. You actually realize that the producer is a genius because when you think about the plots and the way the plots intertwine, and you just say, "Wow, how did he think about that?"
Yeah, I.
You can tell the producer is very smart. When you watch Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, you realize the producer is very smart for coming up with something like that. It's not something that you would expect.
I'd give you that. I'll give you that. But I don't know. It's just when that show came out, I've watched a couple episodes. Like, don't get me wrong. I tried. I saw it, but I was just, I don't know, man. And the worst thing is, I like worse shows than that. You know what I mean? Like, I've gotten into like bad shows, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna watch this weekly. But I just never got into Breaking Bad. I did watch The Wire. I love The Wire, but I never saw that
Wh-
show. And
What
everyone told
about
me to watch it.
what about Vikings? You watch Vikings?
It's okay. Mitzi's getting me into Vikings. I've watched a couple episodes. The thing is I'm very deep in the season, so I'm seeing all these things happen, and I have no idea who's who yet. But I'm just like, oh, that's cool. Oh shit, that guy died. Oh, nice. They're gonna overthrow this village. Like that's all I've seen about Vikings.
Okay, I'm going to tell you right now. The first four seasons are awesome, and after the fourth season, after season number four, they kind of ruined it.
Oh man, no, no.
But
I don't know what season I've been watching, but they've been good though.
yeah, the first four seasons are awesome. After the first four seasons are awesome, and then season five and six kind of ruined the show.
You know what? You know what show I feel the same with about that? Walking Dead. Do you watch that show?
I've heard about it, but I've never seen it.
Okay, I feel the exact same way. I watched the first three seasons, fell in love with that thing, loved it. The writing, the episodes, how they did it, everything. Then they went into like this next season, what was all about like this one bad guy who's depressed, and they have to overthrow him, this and that, and like it was like 14 episodes of nothing. And I was like, I can't just keep watching this for story. Like, you got to give me. And I'm not even talking kills or anything, but the plot got boring. It's almost like they ran out of ideas, and they were just kind of trying to drag as much as they can through. And then they're like, oh, you got to watch it again because they went back to the comic version. I'm like, yeah, but you guys already lost me. Like, I'm not gonna go back to it now. There's no way. Screw it.
So basically, you're not a big Negan fan, or
A big what?
wasn't his name Negan, the bad guy that have the iconic scene from where he kills them with a baseball bat?
Oh, I never watched. No, see, that's what I mean. I never even met that guy. I didn't
Oh,
even like. By the time I got off it, I didn't even meet him. The last bad guy I saw was the governor, and he was the worst villain ever,
because the only thing,
ever.
because that's the only thing that I know from show is that scene where he kills him with a baseball bat. That's the only scene that I know from. But I know
Um,
that's from I know that's from like season 7 or something like that.
no, the only one that I saw of that was the Dave Chappelle skit that he did on Saturday Night Live. That he kind of made fun of that. That was like the only time I've seen it.
So we haven't even got to that scene yet.
No, I gave up on the show, man. I couldn't watch it no more. Could not watch it anymore.
There are though some other great shows. I would say Ozark and Money Heist are some of the best TV shows I've seen recently.
Love Ozark. Love it. I still have not had a chance to watch the new one only because it's every time I've tried to sit down and watch it, there's it's always something. It's like always there's a new stand up. So I'm like, oh, I want to watch that one. And the worst part is I did it with the last season, and then when I turned it on, I'm like, why did I wait so long? Like it's just amazing.
Season 2, you've seen season 2, right?
Oh yeah, of course. I'm on three. Like I just have not seen the new one that came out.
And the new one is season 3.
Yes, that's the only one I haven't seen. I'm gonna get on it. Like I'm get on it, man. I love that show. I've seen them
It's
all.
season 3 is wild. It's great. It's all. I mean, I think with every season it gets better, but it gets better with every season. Although I would say that there are probably some things in season 2 that I liked a little bit more. But overall, I
Hmm.
think season 3 is great.
Oh no, I'm dying. I'm gonna watch the show, and then when I do, I'll call you back and we'll talk about it again because
And
I love
you
that
should
show,
check.
man.
And Money Heist is awesome too.
A friend of mine, Andy's trying to get me on that show. I'm like, I don't know, man.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I was surprised too. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It has the suspense, it's action, it has intricate plots. Very it's that you don't expect. It's pretty good.
All right, all right. I'll watch that. Have you seen the Oh shoot! What the hell's this show? Carbon. This is why I need a Google guy. Oh, and they took my phone. They just walked in, took my phone, so I can't even Google it. It's the one with Falcon, the black guy that plays Falcon in the MCU. He had Carbon.
No,
Oh, come on.
I've never heard of that.
Oh man, hold on. I gotta look for this. Where are you? Give me 1 second. No, 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 no. This is unprofessional, but I don't care. I gotta get this show for you, man. You should check this out. It's not a bad show. I enjoyed it. It's a new twist on like a futuristic look. It's not like the same old, just like, oh, it's full flying cars and this and
Because when
that.
you say
Like they changed
futuristic,
it.
what do you think about Westworld?
I I love the first one. I love how they're in the world. I loved how it worked. Then when they moved out of the world, I
Yeah,
kind of gave up on it a little bit.
the second season is a bit disappointing. The ending,
I
especially.
think so too. I
And I
think
was. Mhm.
here it is. Hold on. Altered Carbon. That's what it's called.
Altered Carbon.
Yes, it's a good show, man. I enjoyed it. I really did. The first two seasons, it's good. It kind of, it's again, it's like a new twist on like futuristic looks because they're going through planets and everything. So I liked it. I enjoyed it.
What about Narcos? Have you seen Narcos?
Yes, I did not watch Narcos Mexico though.
I'm watching Narcos Mexico, and it is pretty good.
Yeah, my brother says the same thing. He's like, they're crazier. I'm like, really?
I saw something which I thought it was funny because throughout the whole show, they pretty much show how corrupt the Mexican government is. But
Yeah.
one thing that was funny was there was a scene where in Costa Rica, and they just basically there was a big contrast to Mexico. Like, I mean, keep seeing Mexico corrupt, and then you go to Costa Rica, and then you see them. The army was mobilized instantly, and the when you go to Costa Rica, you could just basically all of a sudden you see a great difference. Like the army is mobilized instantly, and they got the guy that they needed to get like right away. I mean, it didn't time in Costa Rica, but I was like, wow. I'm wondering if that's actually true.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, Costa Rica doesn't have an army.
It doesn't.
No, if I'm
Well,
mistaken.
maybe it was like a police or something. I don't know.
Yeah, oh yeah, there's mad police here, but the army, I don't think they have one, and they're actually proud of it. It's like okay, all right, cool guys. This is what happened when shit goes down. I don't think they're gonna be ready though.
So I'm just wondering. So maybe it's not that difficult to corrupt the officials in Costa Rica, I guess.
Oh,
Or
they're
maybe
all corrupt.
or
Everyone's
they,
corrupt. I'm not. Look, I don't really get into politics, but to me, they're all corrupt. The only thing I'm also being biased on this, but right now, the only good president for me in like Central America is Nayib from El Salvador. He's really the only guy trying to do something. Like El Salvador's been corrupt for so long. Like the only thing they ever made news for was the gangs, people dying, and just pretty much how corrupt we are. So like that was the only things we would have. Since he went in, guy, he's cleaned up the streets. He's putting war on the MS-13 and 18. And before they were like in separate jails, he's like, hey, screw that, put them together. I don't care what happens. Like he's been a good guy, man. He's been
is
a
that,
really
is
good
that
president.
aren't the jails in Salvador very overcrowded though, or in Central America period?
I would say Central America, period.
They're very
There's
over.
quite a,
And
yeah.
I also know that Honduras is the murder capital of the world, from what I've heard. The highest the highest amount of murders per 1,000 people is in Honduras from the statistics that I've seen recently in San Pedro
Yeah,
Sula.
they would be because El Salvador used to be number one for like top three for I don't know how many years running. But now things have finally calmed down. So I'm kind of glad we don't hold that record anymore.
So no, I don't think Costa Rica was in it, but Honduras and Salvador were definitely in the top 10 for sure, and for
Oh,
overcrowded prisons as well.
oh, for sure. Oh, for sure. No, no, everything's corrupt. But man, I've never voted, and I don't plan to. And everyone could say, "Oh, if you don't vote, you can't make a difference." Man, they're not listening to me anyways. So I'm not losing anything except time waiting in line for like 3 hours to say, "Hey, Juan's gonna win." Fuck Juan. Yeah, no, no, no. Do you vote?
Mm, I mean, I have, but not really interesting. Not really interested in. I mean, I I used to be more interested in politics recently, but I mean earlier. But now I'm starting to realize that there's no point because it pretty much is everyone is all the same kind of, to me at least.
Yep.
If you really think about it.
Oh yeah, no, no, screw that. But either way, so getting off politics. That's the worst talk. I hate it. Oh, fucking politics. They're all corrupt. I agree. That's the one thing we agree on. So, do you? Here we go. Do you what comedy shows do you watch? Because like I'm like Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Like that's my show.
I don't. I'm not really big of a comedy guy to be. I
What?
mean, if I see a movie which is comedy, I would watch it. But I'm not very big on comedies normally.
Really?
I prefer scary movies or scary topics in general than comedies.
Yeah, but nothing's really scary anymore. So, like, what are you really watching? The corn
That's why I
syrup?
watch. That's why I watch TV. That's why I watch the TV series, the mentioned above TV series.
All right. So,
But
but
I
TV
because
wise, what do you watch?
I mean the news mostly. I've been watching the news. I love food. Well, you guys call it soccer. I call it food. See, I hate
No.
using the words. I really hate using the word soccer. I think it's a made up word. I think
Mm-hmm.
because to me, our football is the real football. Actually, in Costa Rica, they call it football too. Only in US and Canada they call it soccer.
That's right.
Um,
Mexico down, everyone calls it football. Everything's football.
and I think in Costa Rica it's same too, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. From Mexico down, everyone says football. I'm pretty sure the whole world says football except for the U.S. and
Yeah,
Canada.
that's yes, and maybe Australia too.
maybe. But
Yeah,
you're getting.
so I'm really missing football, man. Actually, it's interesting because I used to bet a lot way before getting this job. I used to bet a lot, and I'm still bet. Well, I'm not betting anymore because there's nothing to bet on. But yeah, I used to bet wager a lot on football way before starting the job. So when I started, I was like, oh wow, man, something I'm actually. This will be the first time that I'm actually be working something that I'm familiar in.
It's funny because, like you're saying, there's nothing to bet on except for esports, and I'm sitting there and I'm
I don't
playing.
do video games, so I'm not familiar with that.
Well, no, I'm playing Madden, right? Because I love that game. So I'm sitting there playing Madden, and Mitzi's like, "Hey, what's this simulation stuff?" I'm like, "This." So what do you mean, like me playing Madden? Like it's two kids playing Madden or two athletes playing Madden.
What exactly
That's
is
what
Madden? What is Madden?
Madden's NFL football. It's the video game for NFL, like FIFA or PES. Like it's the same
See,
thing.
I used to play FIFA back in the day, but I no longer do. But let me ask you this, because you play video games often, right?
Oh yeah.
Do you like do you like watching Twitch? And if you do, can you tell me what is
No.
the appeal? No, you don't like. You're probably the first. You're probably the first person that I see that who likes playing video games but doesn't like watching Twitch. Or this is just a myth that people who like watch. Is that a myth that people who will play video games like to watch Twitch or?
It's not so much that because my son can watch me play video games. I guess it just depends on the person, but I can't watch someone play video games. I want to play. So why am I going to watch you play and then like when I play it, I'm like, "Oh yeah, I already saw the guy do this." So it's almost watching the walkthrough before you even play the game. So
But
for me,
if you
it's almost spoiling. So that's why I don't like it. And I can't watch I cannot sit there this is the worst part because I'm a hypocrite. Because I can make a person do it. Like I can play video games for 6 hours and talk with you and be a dick about it. I don't want to be, but I can do it, or I won't. I shall say I've done it, which is the worst part. But like it's no problem. But to sit there and watch someone play video games or watch them play a game that I've played, I can be a backseat driver. I'm like, yo, turn left. Yep, turn right because I want them to finish real fast.
so how do you explain the fact that so many people on Twitch? Well, I guess not so many, but there are actually many people on Twitch who are actually killing it and making great financial profits just by playing games. How do you explain so many people watching people on Twitch and donating money to them? If what do you how would you explain that?
It's bullshit.
Or
Like what? It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. How are you telling me I've wasted years and years and years and years playing all these games? Nothing could ever happen. Now that I'm old and have no time for them, you can start making money off it. But this is the worst part. I was talking to actually Brian, from who I do the other podcast with, and I was like, hey, how do you get into the Madden tournament that I've seen people do? And you make like $1 million if you win it, right? He's like, oh man, you just sign up. I'm like, really that easy? Like, let's check. And he looked into it. Like, you have to play regional, then you got to play state, then you got to play national. Then once you play that, then you get into the tournament. Like, you're doing like 4 to 5 months of just constant playing
before you
before
can
you
actually
even
join.
before you make any money.
Wait, let me ask you this though. So people like Ninja who are millionaires, how do you millionaires by playing video games? How do you think they made like they are they really that good or what?
No, you want to know what's messed up? Okay, like surprisingly, I've had to like I don't look into it, but somehow like I get the info and I see it on like shows and everything. These kids get recruited like athletes. Like they're kids playing online, and someone's out there getting paid to look for the next kid who doesn't do anything else but play video games and win. That's it. And then they recruit them, give them a contract, and they pay him like, okay, you play for us now. You're team X. So now if Team X wins anything, he starts winning profit and everything like that. But he's already getting paid like a job.
Yeah, nowadays people are hiring professionals to teach their kids how to play. But I was wondering, like, because I think because I know for sure that Ninja is like a millionaire, and I'm like
Yeah.
wondering, man, hmm?
No, no, I'm just agreeing with you. How what? Like, yeah, he is a
Like, how,
millionaire.
how can people like him can make so much money, man? I'm just
I'm baffled, man. It's ridiculous. That's why I say it's bullshit. Like, I do not get it. I don't get how that happened. Like Fortnite, a
yeah,
million
that's what I was going to
dollars.
ask you next. Like, I just recently learned that the kid there was this 14 or 15-year-old kid who won the national World Cup for Fortnite, and I think he won like $2 million or something.
It's insane. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. I don't know how that. I don't know.
For playing Fortnite, he won $2 million because he's the world champion in Fortnite.
Fortnite. Fortnite. Like, come on. It's like I heard this one story. Like, listen to this. When Bitcoin first, like, not when it, well, yeah, when it started, it was like 50 cents a Bitcoin. One Bitcoin was like 50 cents or like 25 cents or something like that. So some kid goes to his parents like, "Yo, I want to buy $50 worth of Bitcoin."
Bitcoin.
Have you heard this story?
No, no, but
Okay.
I can predict how it ends. You know.
Pretty much. So he goes to his parents and he's like, "Yo, let me buy $50 of Bitcoin. And if it explodes, he's like, I don't have to go to college." They're like, "Yeah, sure," thinking they were joking. So when it went up to like 3,500, he already had like over $2 million. Like right away. Like he was already loaded. And even though it's going up and down right now, if he had like 2 million when it was 3,500 and it's still over 5,000 in Bitcoin, like the guy's chilling. He's chilling. Like he doesn't have to work. If he's smart about it, he won't have to work and he just keeps selling and getting money and like he'll be fine. He'll be fine. He can have a nice normal life. He doesn't have to go extravagant and buy a bunch of cars and shit, but he could live a normal life without working a day just because he bought $50 of Bitcoin when he was like 13.
Yeah, I mean, that would be nice, right? Buying all this
Oh
Bitcoin.
my god. If I could go back in time, that would be the first thing I would do. I'd be like, "You're gonna buy like $1,000 worth of Bitcoins." Like, why? You're just gonna do it. It's like just do it. And then leave it alone and don't think about it till the year like 2017. Then you're gonna be rich. I would do it, man. Like, oh fuck. No, some people just get lucky, man. That's what it comes down to. And where video games became a business and like and actually make profit off it, I don't know, man. I missed it. I missed the memo. I missed the movement. I don't know what happened. I just one day saw that a kid won $1 million playing Fortnite. I was like, what? And
Okay,
then, huh?
all right, go ahead, go ahead.
No, no. Did you ever watch Ballers?
No, what's that?
It's an HBO show with The Rock. He's a sports agent. And the thing is, it was on HBO, really good. It's actually written by football players, so it's really, if you like football, it gets you into it, like NFL football, right? And by the last season, the thing is he's literally in esports. So you see them recruit the kids, how they pay the kids, who they want, put them in tournaments to test them. Like it's all crazy. You see like the process of what they do to try to earn money. Like it's stupid.
Well, let me ask you actually something else because we were talking about the games and all that. What is your opinion about e-girls?
But who?
E-girls, they also make money playing games, but they use a different tactic.
Oh, to each his own, I guess. But that all,
They actually make more money than the gamers themselves. You know that, right?
well, any woman on a webcam will make more money than anyone will doing whatever. Like, and there's always going to be an audience for whatever goes out there. Like, it just it re- you never know what you'll get until you throw your product out, right? So obviously they're like, hey, they love watching video games. Now, how about we throw some titties at them and see what happens with the video games? So right there, everyone gets hooked like right away.
Well, because I was listening to this model. the other night, and she said that one of the most profitable ways for women to make money is if they have an OnlyFans site.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I've heard of those. I ain't never. I don't. It comes down to I'm not paying. So.
I'm not paying either, but you would be. I'm not paying either, but you'd be surprised how many men actually do that.
Oh, it's a billion-dollar industry. It will soon go up to it will soon go up to, let's say, billions, right? It'll soon go up to trillions for sure. Like, I'm not joking. I would love to go to an expo in Las Vegas. That'd be so much fun. Like, it'd be fun to just go. Like, I'm not trying to go to see all the girls and all that, but it'd be fun to just go. I would actually do it. I'm not allowed to do it, and if I've ever gone, I'd get murdered. But I wouldn't mind doing
what
it.
exactly is the what do you mean by expo? Like a comic or
The,
what exactly?
no, the convention. There's a an adult convention in Las Vegas where
Oh,
all the
there
stars
is.
go. Yeah, and they
I ne-
sell. Yeah, they go. They meet and greet, do like signings, and there's like the new toys and all this shit.
Are you
Like, it would
serious?
just be cool to go. Yes, I'm serious.
And you can take pictures with them?
Yes.
Okay, well, let's go to Las Vegas then.
Like, what let me repeat what I just said. There's no way I can go. I will get murdered if I do, and I won't be able to come back through the door. I'll be locked out of my own house.
That's bad.
But yeah, like, I wouldn't mind going. Like, it's a lot of stuff like I'm not into, but hey, to each his own, man. I ain't gonna. It, whatever you do in your house is your thing, man. Go ahead. So, like, back to like that, the webcam stuff like that. Like, yo, there's always going to be a fan base for that, and there's always going to be. And I'm not even singling people out, guy. It's married men, single men, divorced men, young. Like, it doesn't matter. It's everybody. You know what I mean? And fuck, some people can just afford it. Nah, not me. What do you think about it? And you didn't even know about the expo. Look at that. They have awards and
No,
stuff. Do you know about the awards?
I heard about the awards. I didn't know about
Yeah.
the expo. I didn't know
Yeah.
they were still doing them.
Oh yeah. It's every year. You're crazy. Hold on, I gotta get my battery over here, so you're just gonna see a little movement in the background. But go on. So what do you think about them?
Um, well, there's plenty of women in Instagram which I follow, but just the free stuff.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
But yeah, Instagram is a place where everyone can be a model nowadays.
No, I don't. I have like three on my Instagram. Like, that is it. It's just the three that I like. Other than that, no hose. No hose on the Instagram.
Let me ask you, how long you means been together? If that's
We have been together how long now? Like, we're coming up on 11 years. We got married.
I was going to guess 10, just
Yeah.
by listening.
Yeah, or 10. We've been married since 2013. So we've been married for the what, 7 now? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 7 now. It has its ups and downs, man. Like, it's rough. No one. You who's been divorced, I actually have now seen the other side of marriage, but man, it's rough, but it's so worth it, man. At the same time, it really is. Like, there's times you kind of forget, and it's just me, right? You kind of forget, like, man, it's 50-50, and you just want to be selfish, but you can't, because you can't have a relationship that's all take and no give. It just never works.
See, the thing is, I've been single for more than 5 years already.
Hmm.
So I kind of forgot. I honestly kind of forgot what it is to be in a relationship. Period. I'm not talking about marriage. I'm just talking relationship. Period.
Well, do you miss being in a relationship? That's the thing.
Well,
Like,
yeah. That's the thing I wanted to talk to that I want to talk to you about. Like, I use Tinder, and here's the thing: I get matches on Tinder, but the problem is with the conversation. Like, usually the conversation dies as soon as I say, "Hey, my name is Ned. Nice to meet you," because they never respond, which I don't get. Like, Why would you not respond if you? Why would you match with me if you're not going to respond to my message? I don't get that part. But even if it gets a little bit further conversation, I really don't know how to lead a conversation with a girl which I just met. I really don't know how. Like it usually dies. It usually dies pretty quickly.
I hear
Or
you.
if,
Like the
or
only
I
thing.
got a
Uh
few
huh.
girls where the conversation went a little bit further, but the problem is that they are thousands of miles away from me. I don't know what happened, but I don't know what happened. But Tinder starts showing me. It's not supposed to show you girls who live more than 100 miles away from you. But for some reason, once in a while, it will show me girls who live like 5,000 miles away from me. I don't know why. Matching with them, like,
It's pretty much saying like, hey, take a train.
wow, when you live 6,000 miles, it's more like an airplane. But yeah.
No, I'm just making a joke. But well, this is the thing, man. Okay, first, I have seen firsthand what the how these little girls are, and I just can't deal with it. Like I can't, like the way that they act and everything, and just no, no, I can't do it. But the only thing I can say, okay, first, I have not had the best game, like talking to girls, this and that. Like in Canada, my friends would laugh. Oh man, I got some things in Canada that there's one
So
time. No, this is hold on.
basically,
There's
you
one
had.
time. Huh?
Okay, go. I was
Okay,
going to say
okay.
basically you had better luck with relationship before being married as well. That's what you're saying, or no?
Well, this is the thing. In Canada, I was no good because I didn't know how to. I didn't have that much confidence. I couldn't really talk. I got shy, everything like that. What I was gonna say is one time I was in front of the mall, and this one girl came walking by, and I didn't even do the cat call or the pickup line. I'm like, hey, how's it going? Guys, she just walked right past me like I didn't exist. I was like, damn, girl, like it was cold as ice. I was like, shit. My friends started laughing and everything. So like Canada was no go. When I came here, because I had an accent, it was a lot easier to talk to girls because they would like it. They was like, oh, you're not Costa Rican. So
But
from
wait, a
there,
quick question.
hmm,
Isn't Spanish your also his first language is English or no?
my first language is English.
Okay, but wasn't Spanish taught you from when you were born early or no? Or you had to learn it actually?
This is the thing. I had to learn it because I went. First, I learned English, then I learned French, then I learned Spanish. So I
Okay,
would
cause
always
I
understand Spanish because my parents, but I had to learn it.
okay, see, cause I thought that because you were Hispanic that you'd actually learn Spanish from the start, from the get go. That's why I was asking.
No, I talk backwards Spanish because I talk Spanish like I would English.
Okay, so you still can. So even though your parents were speaking Spanish, you still had to learn it. Is what you're saying?
Ye- Well, yeah, because like any kid, you hear a language your whole life, you understand it right off the bat. Like I hear all the Spanish, I understand it all, but speaking it was always a different thing for me.
Okay, so it was still a challenge. Is basically what you're
It
saying.
it's not a challenge. I just talk backwards. Like my Spanish is not proper Spanish. So what I do is I think of the phrase in English and I say it in Spanish. So I'll like mix up words here and there. So doing that, it was easier for me to talk to girls because they thought it was cute.
Okay, okay, I see what you're saying.
So when it comes down to it, like it was a lot easier for me here, and I built more confidence here. But what I noticed is just it's all about just being yourself, man. You can't change that whole thing of like, oh, you gotta act different, you gotta act cool, you gotta do this. No, you don't have to do any of that in my opinion. You just need to be yourself, man.
But the problem is that I don't even get to the date. I don't even do dates. That's the problem. I don't even get to the first part to where I can demonstrate myself. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even get there.
Yeah. Well, what can I? This is the thing, though. Are you going out or are
No,
you
I
doing
don't.
the internet?
No, I don't. I'm kind of an introvert basically, and I don't really talk to outside of work. I don't really talk to that many people. I mean, I have people that I know, but I don't really talk to people that much, and I don't get to meet people often. And because I don't go out, I primarily rely online to meet women. but I never get to have any dates. That's the reason why I've been single for so long, basically.
I hear you, man. All right, well then, I always say if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So it seems like this tactic is broke. So it's time to try something else.
Okay.
'Cause especially if it's sending you miles and miles and miles away, it's like, all right, well, no, screw this. And also, that's that's just a hookup. It's like, hey, all right, no. Like that's the only conversation you really have on that app. Like when it comes down to it,
For the
right?
most part, yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's what I'm saying. So if it's like that, because I've always said it, man. If I get divorced, there's no way I'm getting married again. I understand like having another relationship, but marriage, no, it's done. It's
I'm the
done.
same.
There's no
I'm
more.
not, I'm not planning to get married. I'm not planning to be married or have any more kids, at least at this point.
Yeah,
For the
no, no. It's been there, done that. Got the T-shirt. I tried. If it's not your fault, right? Like it depends. If it's your fault, then yeah, you didn't try that hard. But like, if it's like the divorce of look, we just can't be together anymore, and it's not the case of cheating on each other. You know what I mean? And it's just like, look, we can't do this anymore. We're just it's to the point where we just can't live. If it comes down to that, there's no way I'm getting married again. None, none.
Yeah, that was the case for me. So that's why I'm not looking forward to getting married at this point.
Yeah,
I
no,
mean,
no.
this may change in the future, but at this point, right now, no.
Yeah, and especially now with coronavirus, you can't even go out and do anything anyways.
See, that's the thing. Coronavirus hasn't really affected me overall. Well, I miss football,
Yeah.
um, and obviously our job got a calf. But other than that, it didn't really affect me because I was living pretty much the same way before the isolation started. I was living pretty much the same way. Now I just have a great excuse to stay at home and watch movies,
And TV shows. Well then,
TV
maybe
shows.
when
Yeah, that's what.
well then maybe this is done. Fuck it. Go out more. Try it. Go out a little
That's
more.
the
See
thing.
what's up.
I don't go out. I don't go out. I
Yeah,
don't
I
really
know.
care.
I know that's the reason right now. But hey, like what you're saying, if if it's broke, you need to find another way. So
But
it's
I don't have anyone to go out with. That's the other problem, and I don't feel comfortable going out by myself. That's the other thing as well. So I'm not a person. I'm not a person who likes to go out if I don't have anyone to go out with.
well, then I gotta get a ticket to Bulgaria and let's fucking do it, man.
Yeah, yeah, you probably have to do so because I don't know. I'm not much into going out, and I guess the other thing is probably the thing is I tend to struggle with confidence because well I don't know I just don't I've always struggled with confidence throughout most of my life and I usually have confidence about the way I look because I'm bigger than most people are. Yeah, I don't know how would I rank in Costa Rica, but in Bulgaria I'm definitely the heaviest guy in the group. That's for sure.
man.
Yeah,
It's
well,
just all
maybe if I came to Costa Rica I'd still be the heaviest too. I don't know.
man. It doesn't even matter if look at do you listen to music?
Yeah, of course everybody
Well,
listens.
not okay. Let me rephrase that. That was pretty stupid. Okay, do you listen to rap? Do you know
No,
rap
no,
artists? Okay,
no,
well,
not
there's this
yet.
guy called Notorious B.I.G. He is
I
huge.
know I know who he
There
is,
you
but I don't.
go. And he used to get all the girls. It doesn't matter about size. All that matters is just how you talk to them. And really, for me, it's just you don't have to change, man. When you put on the personas and you act and you fake, that's when shit always hits the fan, man. Anytime you watch a show or a movie, how many times have you been like, just tell her the truth? How many times have you done that? I scream at it all the time. Like
Often.
I just watched a movie recently on Netflix that I was going to talk about on the podcast the podcast. It was what was it? Wedding Repeat, something like that. It's an English romantic comedy, and it's really good, man. But so many times I'm like, just say the truth. Like, just say the truth. Why is it so hard? Like, why is it hard? Like, if you
I
actually
don't
like someone. Like, I'm not saying be aggressive about it, and like on the second date, you're like, "Hey, man, I fucking like it," but like, you know what I mean? And be all like creepy and shit. But like, why can't after a while you just be like, "Look, man, I like what's going on, this and that. I just want to share. I just want to see that we're on the same page." You know what I mean? You don't have to be like, "I love you," and we should move in. Nothing
I
stupid, but why can't you just
with
speak your mind?
with me the problem is that I probably I'm way too much myself. If that makes sense.
No, because if you're gonna be with someone, they need to accept you, right? They need to take
Well,
all the faults, all everything. If
well,
not,
you're
then
being
hey,
way.
let's just.
I'm being way too honest from the beginning.
Well, you got to hold that honesty. You got to let it out in little bits, but you can still be honest about it. But you got to hold that honesty sometimes, man, because you don't want to be too aggressive, especially when you're just meeting somebody, because you're still a stranger. You know what I mean? And what there's a well, I love stand up, right? And there's Chris Rock. He says it. A girl knows if she's gonna fuck you in the first 5 seconds of meeting you. Like she knows. So it's really just like I hope he doesn't screw this up by saying something stupid. You know what I mean? Like if they already know what's going on, they already
Well,
have it. So
yeah,
it's literally on us to not fuck it up.
but how? But how can we tell? But how do we? But how do we know? Is the question though.
What do you mean? How do we know when it's time?
How do we know if she chose us? Is what I meant.
Oh, because they're still talking to us.
Oh,
You know what I mean? They're still talking to us. So it's like, all right, well, I'm in at the moment, and until you fuck it up, then you don't know
but
what you're gonna do.
the thing is, like, when guys flirt, when some guys flirt with women, some of them look very natural, and it just comes off. It just comes off for them, like they were meant to do it. But see, when I so they look cool, but when I do it, I kind of look like Ted Bundy or something. You know what I mean? I, that's why there was even some of my friends would call me Ned Bundy or something.
No, that just that just means you can't use their tactics. They're trying to make you use their tactics, which is
No,
not gonna
I'm
work.
not. They're not making me do anything. I'm just. That's
No,
what
no,
I.
no. You know what I mean, though. You know what I'm not saying like they're peer pressuring you to do it, but they're like, hey, why don't you try like do it like this, blah blah blah. And if it doesn't work, it's because that's how they do it. They've mastered that. They've been doing it since they were fucking like 12, 13, trying to get kisses. Like, put it this way, man. This is ridiculous. I've seen my friend get a number by barking at a girl. He barked
I
at her like a
are you
dog.
serious?
And I laughed. I'm like, what the? And then she looked and she's like, oh. And the thing was, he didn't even know that he knew her. But the second that she was like, oh, I remember you, blah, 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 gave her the number, called her, everything. Like, I was like, are you fucking serious? A bark. A bark. Like, no. It also shows you, like, what kind of
But,
class, like, he's
but
barking at. But, you know what I mean? Like, it's how they do it. Like, the way that I learned to do it after was just like, see, I'm more of a listener than I am a talker when you don't know me yet. So I just almost like the movies. I'm like, all right, well, what do you do? And just get them to say whatever, and then I just kind of comment on once in a while, get the conversation going. Then it's all right. Well, let's talk tomorrow or blah blah blah. And that's the way that I always learned to do it. So I never looked like I was hitting on someone when I was talking to them. I wasn't up close. I wasn't lovey dovey. I wasn't touchy. I wasn't trying to. You know what I mean? It's just I don't know. It fucking worked, man. And I was like, okay, well, just be me.
the thing is, I think that women can very easily tell when you don't have confidence, and it's not something that you can learn overnight, though.
No, it's not. I learned from a friend called Smitty because I didn't have much, and he would always tease me enough to make me kind of get mad. But then he's like, "Look, man, like I'm just fucking with you. You need to learn to like take jokes because if you're gonna make a joke, you need to learn to take it too. So you can't get mad if someone makes fun of you, but you can make fun of everybody else." So I was like, oh, all right. And then by little, he just kept doing that. Then My brother helped me as well once I was getting a little older because we would actually start to hang out more and stuff like that. So from there, just like little by little, and it's not something you get overnight. Trust me, it is not. But once you get it, it's good. It feels good. You can stick up for yourself, and it's just like it's also pushing through those butterflies, man. It's that nervousness that you have to push through. You're like, oh my god, I don't want to talk to her. I don't want to do it. And I get it with everything, everything. But you have, I just like, I have to psych myself almost like a Jedi mind trick. I'm like, all right, you're just getting like these are. This is not the nervousness that you feel. I'm like, okay, let's go, let's do this, and I gotta like pump it up. But it's for me, it's fighting through that first thought of the rejection. But then I'm
Yeah, yeah,
like, well,
that's the thing.
yeah, but after a while though, like anything that you ask anybody can be rejection. If you ask someone for a pen, for a water, for a dollar, everything's rejection. So what's the like you know what I mean? To psych myself, right? It was like, what's the difference between that rejection and this rejection? Like it's not like she's gonna like make a scene and like say, oh, you got a small dick, and be like, yo, where the fuck that come from? Like the worst thing that she'll say is, hey, look, I got a fake boyfriend, or not right now, or something like that. It's like, oh, all right, well, cool, peace. You know what I mean? I'm gone, and then everything's forgotten. So that's the good thing about it.
But the thing is, like, but see, I mean, I know you're right. You're definitely right about it. But see, the way I look at it is rejection. I kind of connected to disappointment, and disappointment is not good. So you would rather not do it than
Hey,
because like you tend to build yourself up, even if unintentionally you don't realize it. You build yourself up when you start
mhm.
getting those hope, and then all of a sudden it gets crushed. So that's the thing with rejection. But I know it's probably
It is, but it's funny. My mom said this to me. My mom, not even like my dad or my brother, this and that. And it was after like my first real big breakup, and I thought like everything was over and this and that, and I won't find another one. This, and she's like, look, right now, or like she's like, women's are like buses. Okay, you were on a bus for a long time, then you had to get off. Now you just have to wait for the next one. So it's like I understand the. She was also trying to make a joke to make me smile because I was like super down. So when I heard it, I laughed and everything, and I was like, in the sense, like obviously they're not buses, so I'm not. But in a sense, like it's true. You were with one girl for a long time. You walked through. You did your stuff. You lived with her. It ended, but now you have to wait for the next one. It can take a week. It can take years. It can take months. You never know. But until you know and that person is actually right for you, then you can start walking again with someone else.
see if following this analogy, my bus stop is like so desolate that you know how they have in Western movies they have those big
The
purple
bush,
hay things,
the
the hay
bush.
things, the hay which like blows by which is blown by the air. You know that's the thing that passes by my bus stop. You know what I'm talking
Yeah, but
about, right?
then yes, the bushweed that just goes right across. Yeah, but what
Yeah.
happens to every single town? After a while, that interesting person comes in and flips it upside down, and fucking everything either goes really good or it goes really bad. So that bandit has just not shown up yet.
Okay. Okay. I
You
got
know
it.
what I mean? But yeah, no, man. But it's really just I would have to say if the one method's not working, you gotta try something else. You gotta put yourself out there, man. Like it's funny. The when I met Mitzi, it was the day I didn't want anything. I didn't want nothing to do with the world. I didn't want to go out. I didn't want this. I didn't want that. My brother forced me, and then bam. And
Wait.
now
So
I
let me
got
just clarify. Is she from Canada as well, or she's from Costa Rica
Costa
originally?
Rica.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, she's from here. I met her through work.
So you met
Oh
her from.
yeah.
So man, you met her during working this job. Okay. Okay.
No, no, no. It was another job, long time. No, I've
Oh,
only been with this one
okay.
for like 3 years. So no, it was a long time ago.
Okay. Okay. So you both. So you met her there, then you both came to this one. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. But other
Okay.
than that, like, yeah, man, no, it was a very unexpected thing that happened. And I was single. Shit. I had some flings, like not trying to say nothing, like oh no, I had nothing, but I didn't have anything serious. Fuck, maybe a good like little almost with you, maybe like 4 years, just nothing, and I
Oh,
didn't want
really?
anything, nothing, and then I met this one, and I was like shit.
So it was a good thing then, coming to Costa Rica
It
for sure.
was. Well, I was here before, then went to El Salvador, and then came back.
Was it was it a big culture shock moving from Canada to Costa Rica, or not really? Since your parents were Hispanic and all that, was it, uh, or was it still culture shock?
No, the culture shock I had was El Salvador. It wasn't
Oh,
Costa Rica. Costa Rica is very U.S. driven as well. Like they got everything here. They. It's the difference between here and El Salvador is here everything's close. You go from the main city to the outer cities and everything just looks normal, right? When you're in El Salvador, you from the center, you drive like an hour to the next town, an hour to the next town, and there's nothing there. And like the thing
so
is one.
is it poor country or Salvador?
Yes, it's poorer. It's getting better, but yeah, it's still poorer. And there, I had the culture shock because one time I went into the wrong side of the wrong hood. But the thing was, is I went with the guy. Okay, you can relate to this. I went with the guy that's from the bad neighborhood that everyone told him to study. So no one fucks with him, and he's not a part of any gang, but everyone knows him. So he's cool with everybody. But he's like, no, I'm good. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I'm like, yeah, all right. And I'm me being naive, me. He's like, hey, let's go to this place, and everyone says no, and I'm the only idiot that says yes. So I'm like, yeah, I'll go with you. So I'm like, oh shit. So I go. The first thing that I see is a guy all tatted up, all arms, his face, everything, and he's lifting cement weights. I'm like, holy shit! Like this, I'm making it sound like it's out of like a music video or a movie, but I swear that's the first thing I saw. And then I go through and I go into this little shed. I'm like, man, I'm gonna die. And
Wait,
they're what? Huh?
this Salvador has cartels too, right?
Yeah, but I was in the bush. I was only with the small gang. And fucking and they're watching a Real Madrid game. Everyone's Real Madrid. I'm Barca. And they're like, "Hey, you like Real Madrid?" I'm like, "Love them." I'm like, "I love
But
them."
yeah,
Right away. And then like I met a guy, his name was Cuchillo, which means knife. So he just knifes people. I'm like, really? Like it was a culture shock and a half, man. Here is there ain't shit. Over there, holy crap, it was crazy.
so they do have plenty of gangs in Salvador, right?
Oh yeah, they got two, the MS-13 and 18, the two biggest ones, and they always rival. It ain't cool, man. Before, like you couldn't even go out after 6 p.m. You had to stay inside.
And didn't Salvador Honduras had a war recently, or in the last 20 years? I think they had a little.
Yeah, they did. What I've heard, it's over a soccer game.
Yeah, no, they had a war. It didn't last for a very long time, but it was. I think it was still pretty bloody or something. I don't remember. But yeah,
No,
over.
no, there was yeah, over a soccer game. We had it with Honduras. It was crazy. Yeah, no, I heard about that, man. But hey, I swear I could talk like another five
Right.
hours with you, no problem. But I do have to run because I can hear the
Okay.
little man
I
calling me
appreciate.
now.
I appreciate it. I hope I didn't keep you for long.
Not at all, man. Thank you for coming on the podcast and everything. Give me like the day we'll have everything up. I'll send it to you. I absolutely had a fantastic time with you, man. I
Yeah, me
appreciate it.
too. Me too. Send
And
me the
that
link. I post it on my Facebook and all that.
I will end. You got to come back. All right. So we'll
All right.
continue
I'll
on
happy
this one.
again.
Perfect, Ned. All right, man. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you.